I would also like to talk to you a little bit about feminism, if that's okay. We have a special program this year about feminism in the program. It's, feminism today is no longer a very strict dogma, but it's a very lively debate with a very strong individual expressions from people. How do you see this development and how do you see your own role in this?
We want to see the discussions in our country because here it's like a common thing and общее место. Common place and
feminism is usual here.
That's normal
in Europe.
Yeah.
It's upper normal.
Men call themselves feminists.
When we were in prison, our mates from Pussy Riot, they did some travels and they performed speeches in Europe and they talked about feminism and I was like, what? They talked about feminism in Europe? They shouldn't, they could and they had to go to small Russian cities and to talk about feminism there.
All right, then.
Yeah.
But it's to conform action for us to talk about feminism here.
Why?
It's obvious here.
It's obvious here.
Everybody knows that
Okay.
women is equal. And if somebody is care about this stuff, they should really go with us to Russia and to do some lectures there.
Yeah. But do you see for yourself a role within Russia to talk about feminism, or do you think it comes naturally?
And also we are helping women who are our friends and prisoners or ex-prisoners because the situation in Russian women prisons and prisons in general is really bad. Because, три женщин попадают за преступления, связанные с самообороной и насилием против мужей, систематически избивавших.
1/3 of women in Russian prisons are basically there because of problems connected with domestic violence, with repeated abuse, which ended in some violence as self-defense on the side of the women. So basically, all these are obviously feminist issues which have to be solved in a feminist way.
И до сих пор у нас не разработан закон, наложивший социальные механизмы, ограждавшие эту женщину от домашнего насилия.
And we yet do not have a domestic violence law in Russia which would sort of limit and put these situations in a special legal context when they are reviewed by the courts.
Yeah.
And it's really maybe hard to understand for somebody, but I got some situation in my life when I was a little bit younger, and in my family there was something like that in this horrible situation, and I came to a policeman and said to them that, sorry, I don't know what to do because it's going for few years and I have to protect my mother and I'm sleeping with a knife under my pillow, yeah. And policeman just told me that, oh, this dog just yelling, but he's not killed somebody, he's not killed your mother. And I said, yes, I know it, but he really wants to do that. And he said, okay, when he will do that, so you came here. But now it doesn't matter why you're here. And for me, it was like, oh my God, where I'm living, what's going on?
Until he killed someone, he killed himself.
Yes.
That's the rule. That's the middle rule from Middle Ages.
It's song lyric by Henry Rollins where a policeman comes to the door and a man is beating a woman and the man says, that's not a woman, that's my wife. Should we perhaps take some questions from the audience?
Wonderful.
Yeah? So, anybody in the audience have a question for Anyone here? I'm sure you have, don't be shy. It's hard for me to see you, so... Yes, please stand up. There's someone over there, maybe you can hand in the microphone.
For us viewers from the West, the whole situation in Russia is completely hopeless when we see it on documentaries or television. And then we see you doing some great work, and, you know, with your art. But do you have the feeling anything can ever change?
In Russia, it's much more complicated that you see on your TV. If you will come someday, I mean, you will understand it's much more easier than 100 words from us. But people, they don't live with this propaganda way of presenting things. They don't want to be part of the country страну, которая зовется всем миром агрессором.
So people do not want to be part of the country which is called an aggressor. Basically, things shown by state television and the way foreign media in Europe also portrays an image of Russia. It can be seen as this sort of unified, Putinist, very conservative and nicely built single country. But in reality, Russia is a very divided and tragically divided country with a lot of internal conflicts, which are not seen by people in Europe because it's a very complicated situation to show it in Western media. So we hope that what we do brings some of that to a foreign audience, and that's very important.
Yeah, and between Russians we have some opinion like, oh, we have to wait half of century and maybe something will change. But thank you for the question.
Any more questions? There's some hands over there. Lady over there.
I have a question regarding Ukrainian-Russian conflict. So a lot of, we were talking about the role of musicians and their independent music. A lot of Russian artists and singers, they actually either supported political regime of Putin, saying that everything is right, what's going on. Either they said that, we are apolitical and we are neutral, so we don't do anything. Do you think actually that the role of cultural activist or singer, musician, can be so not political in the sense when there is actually a conflict and some things going on and there is war? So what is the role of the artist? And also, this is my question, and I just wanted to say about the fact that everybody is innocent in Russia until somebody is committed a crime or whatever. But the thing is that, for example, 2 Ukrainian citizens is a filmmaker, Oleg Sentsov, and our former military officer in Nepal, Nadezhda Savchenko. 2 of them right now are in prison in Moscow, and they were kept on the territory of Ukraine, and they were now in prison in Moscow, and we don't know if they will be released or not. So the thing is that it actually also doesn't work because the regime not following any rules. But yeah, thank you. And
I'd like to quickly start with answering the last part of the question. It's very about Oleg Sentsov and Nadezhda Savchenko. It's very funny because both are represented by exactly the same lawyers which were defending Pussy Riot, Nadia Mash, and the other girls. So now Nadezhda Savchenko's lawyer is Mark Fagan, which at some point represented the girls, and Oleg Sentsov's lawyer is one of our best friends, Dmitry Dinze, which is maybe the best criminal lawyer in Russia. So obviously, and we've also extended our support to Dmitry Dinze and to Sentsov, and we hope that obviously this situation will change. But there is a lot of unity and support for Oleg and Nadezhda in Russia as well.
And the other part of the question, I think, was, can you be neutral as an artist or a musician?
I don't think that you can be neutral everywhere, because everywhere now, after conceptual art, you couldn't be on the artist. You have to be a curator. You have to think about influence of your art. You should think about media, and every time you decide that your artwork will be exposed in one museum or in another museum or at the street or at the YouTube, is it